ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. Hare Krishna Kiran Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Prabhuji, if you are ready, you can read Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji, for giving me this opportunity. I'll be reading today from the chapter 19th of Canto 8. Lord Vamanadev begs charity from Bali Maharaj from slokas 29 to 43. Sloka 29, understanding Lord Vishnu's purpose, Sukracharya, the best of the learned, immediately spoke as follows to his disciple who was about to offer everything to Lord Vamanadev. Sloka 30, Sukracharya said, O son of Virochana, this brahmachari in the form of dwarf is directly the imperishable Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu. Accepting Kashyapa Muni as his father and Atiti as his mother, he has now appeared in order to fulfill the interests of the demigods. Sloka 31. You do not know what a dangerous position you have accepted by promising to give him land. I do not think that this promise is good for you. It will bring great harm to the demons. Sloka 32. This person falsely appearing as a brahmachari is actually the Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari, who has come in the form to take away all your land, wealth, beauty, power, fame, and education. After taking everything from you, he will deliver it to Indra, your enemy. Sloka 33. You have promised to give him 3 steps of land in charity, but when you give it, he will occupy the 3 worlds. You are a rascal. You do not know what a great mistake you have made after giving everything to Lord Vishnu, who will have no means of livelihood. How then shall you live? Vamanadev in Sloka 34 said, Vamanadev will occupy the 3 worlds with 1 step, then he will take his 2nd step and occupy everything in the outer space, and then he will expand his universal body to occupy everything, where you will offer him the 3rd step. Sloka 35. Learned scholars do not praise that charity which endangers one's own livelihood. Charity, sacrifice, austerity, and fruitive activities are possible for one who is competent to earn his livelihood properly. They are not possible for one who cannot maintain himself. In the brackets. Sloka 37. Therefore, one who is in full knowledge should divide his accumulated wealth in 5 parts: for religion, for reputation, for opulence, for sense gratification, and for the maintenance of his family members. Such a person is happy in this world and in the next. Sloka 38. One might argue that since you have already promised, how can you refuse? O best of demons, just take me the advice of Bros. Brahrucha Shruti, which says that a promise is truthful preceded by the word Om and untruthful if not. In Sloka 39, the Vedas enjoin that the factual result of the tree of the body is good fruits and flowers derived from it. But if the bodily tree does not exist, there is no possibility of factual fruits and flowers. Even if the body is based on untruth, there cannot be factual fruits and flowers without the help of bodily tree. Sloka 40. When a tree is uprooted, it immediately falls down and begins to dry up. Similarly, if one does not take care of the body, which is supported to be untruth, in other words, if the untruth is uprooted, the body undoubtedly becomes dry. Sloka 41. The utterance of the word Om signifies separation from one's monetary assets. In other words, by uttering this word, one becomes free from attachment to money because his money is taken away from him. To be without the money is not very satisfactory, for in that position one cannot fulfill one's desires. In other words, by using the word Om, one becomes poverty stricken, especially when one gives charity to a poor man or a beggar. One remains unfulfilled in self realization and in sense gratification. Sloka 42. Therefore, the safe course is to say no. Although it is a falsehood, it protects one completely. It draws the compassion of others towards oneself, and it gives full facility to collect money from others for oneself. Nevertheless, if one always pleads that he has nothing, he is condemned, for he is dead body while living, or while still breathing he should be killed. The last sloka 43. In a flattering a woman to bring her under control, in joking, in a marriage ceremony, in earning one's livelihood, when one's life is in danger, in protecting cows and Brahminical culture, or in protecting a person from enemy's hand, falsity is never condemned. So this is the end of the 19th chapter. Thank you, Mataji. And Pratyush Prabhu will be continuing with the overall for this section of translations for from the Bhagavatam. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Kiran Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Pratyush Prabhuji. Please accept our humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Please take over the call, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. I'll stop sharing.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you, Kiran Prabhuji, for reading today's words translation. And thank you, Sundaranand Prabhuji, for giving me this opportunity. And thank you, Radharani Mataji, for hosting this call. And thank you, everyone, for joining today's session and allow me to serve you and purify myself. I'll start with my prayer. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामीति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणि निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणि। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Today we are reading from Canto 8, chapter 19, titled The Lord Begs Charity from Bali Maharaj. Let me start sharing my screen. Give me a second. So far in the previous chapter and this chapter, we have seen how well Bali Maharaj has received the Brahmachari Lord himself, and Lord Vaman Dev, Lord Hari himself, and by being happy with the service offered by welcome service offered by Bali Maharaj, Lord Vaman Dev was very happy and he glorified Bali Maharaj and his previous dynasty. So Bali Maharaj was also, and Bali Maharaj requested him to ask anything in charity, while Lord in the form of Brahmachari only requested for 3 step of lands. So Bali Maharaj requested him to beg, ask for bigger charity, but a learned Brahmana, he explained that the one who is not happy in how much he need will not be satisfied in how much more he can get. By hearing the nice injections from Vaman Dev, Bali Maharaj was very happy and he accepted and asked Vaman Dev to take whatever he wants. In today's section from text 29, we'll see from text 29 to 33, we'll see how Sukracharya instruct his disciple Bali Maharaj about actual identity of Lord and intention. And in verse 34, we'll see how Sukracharya explanation about how Lord Vamandev will execute his will. And in 35 to 43, Sukracharya goes on to explain the Vedic knowledge and will also give explain Bali Maharaj that how he can deny this charity request by Lord Vaman. So starting from verse 29, Sukracharya, since he was a learned Brahmana, he understood the real identity and intention behind this request from Lord Vamandev. And he started speaking following words. So in text 30, Sukracharya says that this brahmachari is in the form of dwarf, is directly Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu himself. And he has accepted Kashyap Muni and his father Aditi as his mother. And he has appeared here in the interest of demigod. So here we see Sukracharya being guru of demons, instruct Bali Maharaj, right? That how this giving 3 steps only will bring harm to his demon dynasty. So in text 32, we see Sukracharya says that this person is falsely appearing as brahmachari, is actually Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, and he has come in this form to take away all his wealth. So that's land, wealth, beauty, and power, and fame, education. So in the purport, we see Prabhupada explains that how Lord is merciful toward his devotee. Bali Maharaj was a devotee, and but he was attached to the material possession. And Lord, being very kind to him, showed him a special favor by appearing as a Lord Brahmana to take away all his material possession and his mind as well. In the purport, Prabhupada also quotes Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explain in this regard that Hari means who takes away everything. So if one connect himself with Hari, Lord, so he will take all his misery. Superficially, in the beginning, it will look like will appear as if he's taking all his possession, devotee possession, reputation, education, and beauty, but the sincere devotee, if a devotee is a sincere, Krishna will take care of everything. He is never left alone. And it is also explained by Prabhupada that if a sincere devotee wants Krishna above everything, but at the same time is attached to material possession, and what does that mean is the material possession hinders the advancement in Krishna consciousness. So by tactic, the Lord takes away all his possession, which doesn't mean he leaves him, but just he help the devotee in making it advancement in material, spiritual advancement in Krishna consciousness. So if one deliver his mind to lotus feet of Krishna, then one can naturally sacrifice everything to satisfy. So can the devotee never thinks of his own possessions, right? So he thinks of how he can please the Lord. In next verse, in next text 33. Sukracharya goes on to explain that you have given or promised him to give 3 steps of land in charity, but the Lord will occupy all the 3 world just in two steps. So how you will serve his promise, and what will be the consequence? He also explained that you have made a big mistake, and you are a rascal, and after giving everything to Lord Vishnu, how you will maintain your livelihood. So in this purport, in this verse, Prabhupada explained that Bali Maharaj could have argued, I just have promised 3 steps of land. But Sukracharya is a learned Brahmana, and he understood the real intention of Hari. So in the verse, the word Mudha Vartisya Katham, which reveals Sukracharya is a Brahman from priestly class, which means is a Samartha Brahmana, who are interested in receiving remuneration from their disciples. So if Bali Maharaj gives up everything, so how he will Bali Maharaj will take care of Sukracharya. So Sukracharya was mainly concerned about his family, who was also dependent on Bali Maharaj mercy. So this is, and in the purport, Prabhupada goes on to explain this is the main difference between Vaishnava and Samarth Brahmana. Both are learned, so in the Vedic, but the Samarth Brahmana is always interested in material profit, whereas Vaishnava is only interested in satisfying Supreme Lord Hari. In the next verse 34, Sukracharya goes on to say that Vamna will first occupy 3 worlds in 1 step, and then he will take his second step and occupy everything in outer space, and then he will expand his universal body to occupy everything, and then where will you offer him the third step? So in so you can see that Sukracharya is telling Bali Maharaj how he would be cheated by Lord Brahma. So and since Bali Maharaj has promised 3 steps of land, but with only 1 step Bali Maharaj possession will be finished. And so where he will like how he will be able to fulfill his promise, where he will give the 3rd step. So Shukracharya, since he was a Samarth Brahmana, right, who want uh, benefits from his disciple. So he doesn't understood that Lord protects his devotee, which is key thing. So devotee should risk everything in his possession for the service of Lord, but he is always protected, and only the Vaishnavas knows that. And then devotee is never defeated because Bhagwan is always protecting him. By material calculation, Shukracharya thought that Bali Maharaj would under no circumstances will be able to fulfill his promise. In text 35, 35 to 43, Shukracharya is going to explain why he should deny the charity and give all the Vedic injections, how to support his or to justify his statement. So Shukracharya goes on to say that you will be unable to fulfill your promise, and he thinks because of your inability, your residence will be in hell, because he won't be able to fulfill his promise. And in text 36, Shukracharya says that learned scholar do not praise that charity which endangers one's own livelihood. Right? The charity, sacrifice, austerity, and fruitive activities are possible for one who is competent to earn his livelihood. And that's not possible for one who cannot maintain himself. So Shukracharya, seeing that Vaman Dev will take away everything, all the possession in 1 step, whatever Bali Maharaj was possessing in 1 step, we just wanted to give heads up to Bali Maharaj what's coming. So he will not have anything. So how he will continue the charity and sacrifice and austerity. In 37, so we see Shukracharya goes on to explain that therefore one who is in full knowledge should divide his accumulated wealth into 5 parts. So here we see that, and perfect example is Srila Rupa Goswami. So Prabhupada goes on to explain that how he divided his or the wealth into 3 different parts. 50% he kept for, or gave it away for Krishna consciousness, and then 25% for his own self, and 25% for his family members. So one's main purpose should be to advance in Krishna consciousness. This will include dharma, artha, and kama. But however, we might say that our family also needs something. So we should also, so Prabhupada explained that we should also take care of our family expectation. So one should also satisfy your family and give one portion of accumulated wealth to them as well. And but in present day we see most of the people, what they do is they only use the accumulated wealth to satisfy their family or for the self sense enjoyment, which is against the Shastra injunction. So one might argue, so in text 38, we'll see, one might argue that since you have already promised, how can you refuse? Right, so Shukracharya says to Bali Maharaj, you might ask, how I can refuse it. So he gives the evidence from Bhavrat Shruti, which is again to support, to reject what he has promised. He gave one, he utilizes the Shruti and says that if 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 a promise is made, without saying Om, that can be denied as well. So it is just nothing but a way, or to give support, to deny the promise. The uh, Shukracharya is giving a purpose for basically asking Bali Maharaj to deny this promise. In text 39, we see the shloka explains that this material body, even factual truth, cannot exist without a touch of untruth. So which means that Mayavadi thinks that Brahma, Satyam, Jagan, Mithya, which means that spiritual soul is truth and the external energy is untruth. While Vaishnava philosophy doesn't agree with that. So even for the sake of argument, if we think of this material world is untruth, the living entity entangled in the illusory energy cannot come out of it without the help of the body. And without the help of the body, one cannot follow a system of religion, and cannot understand the philosophy. So without the help of body, we cannot gain. So Vaishnava philosophy says that, recommends yukta vairagya. It is said that we should not only give all the attention to the maintenance of the body, but on the same time take care of this body, because if we neglect our body, uh, then we cannot understand the Vedic instruction thoroughly. And at the end of the life, one can achieve perfection only if he maintains his body and keep worshipping the Bhagwan. And in the purport, Prabhupada explains that everything is examined at the time of death. Therefore, although the body is temporary, not eternal, one can take from it the best service and make one's life perfect. In text 40, Shukracharya says that when tree is uprooted, it immediately falls down and begin to dry. Similarly, if one doesn't take care of the body, which is supposed to be untruth, in other words, is uprooted or become dry. So in purport, Prabhupada explains that if one reject things without knowledge, their relationship to the Krishna is incomplete in his renunciation. So when the body is engaged in the service of Lord, one should not consider body is material. Right? So Srila Rupa Goswami instruct that body fully engaged in Krishna service should not be neglected as material. And one who does not neglect it is a false in his renunciation. So which means if the body is not properly maintained, it falls down and dries up like an uprooted tree. So in the purport, it is explained that activities performed with the help of body for the satisfaction of absolute truth are never temporary. All the performed with the temporary body. So, so in the purport, we can see that Prabhupada not only condemning the Mayavadi philosophy in the purport 39 and 40, but also establishing that the body looks like a temporary, but since it is used for the service of the Krishna, it becomes as useful as spiritual. So we should also take care of this body, because the body is temporary, not permanent. So it doesn't mean that one can expose himself to be devoured by tiger. We should always take care of the body and protect it. Text 40 is very important text for today. I'll request everyone to go through this. So here in this purport, Prabhupada explained that Bali Maharaj wanted to give everything to Vamandev, who appeared as a beggar. But since Sukracharya was the spiritual master of Bali Maharaj, did not appreciated that, and given a lot of Vedic evidence how one should not give everything to a poor man. And then and in purport, Prabhupada explained that poor man, like we can certainly help poor men. There is no problem in that, but such a charity has no spiritual value. Because we can see that there are so many foundation institute all around the world for helping the poor people, but uh, still that's not helping, and we see that remain there, because this world is under three mode of material nature, and class of poor men is always destined to continue. And even though there are so many charitable institute and foundations going on, so that's why it is recommended to one should not give everything to the beggar among the everything to the beggars among the poor, but the best solution is that of Krishna consciousness, because this movement is not only helping the poor, they're not only Krishna consciousness movement is feeding them, but also enlightening them by teaching them how to become Krishna conscious. So we can definitely feed them, right, through charity, but if there is no enlightenment, that's not of any use. So through Krishna consciousness, they can learn how to avoid illicit sex, intoxication, meat eating, and gambling, which is most sinful activity, which causes people to suffer a life after all. So the best way is to use the money in the cause, in such causes, in the Krishna consciousness. So in text 42, so Sukracharya says that the best way or safe course is to say no. Although it is not right or true, but for the compassion of others or oneself, we, the Bali Maharaj can say no. So in the purport, Prabhupada explains that beggar always present themselves as possessing nothing, and such people, they are not worthy of living. They should not be. They should they should first of all not do that, and if they do that, they should understand that they are not worthy of living, because just for the sake of collecting money, they pretend as if they doesn't have anything, which as per the Vedic injection, that's not right. In text 43, and it says that flattering a woman to bring her under control, in joking or in a marriage ceremony, in earning one's livelihood, when one's life is in danger, in protecting cows and Brahminical culture, person from an enemy hand, falsity is never condemned. So that was the today's verses. Thank you everyone for joining today's session, and please pardon me for shortcomings. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for a very nice class. Thank you all devotees for joining the class today. Hare Krishna.